your lecture from Nairobi. So you're welcome to be part of the session, and I hope that it's going to be of benefit to you. So I invite all of you. I think we are going to continue to interact. I hope you can also be able to see my presentation.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so the name of the unit is Strategic Procurement and Sourcing. And in this particular unit, we want to understand various aspects around strategic procurement and sourcing. We will be focusing on various issues, for example, global sourcing, outsourcing, the formation of strategic alliances. So by the end of this particular module, you will be able to understand key concepts in strategic procurement. We will be defining and understanding all what that means. We will also, within the unit on the topic, be able to analyze procurement processes and identify key considerations when developing procurement strategies. We will also evaluate supplier proposals, understand how we can be able to do supplier proposals and bids. Also, another objective that we intend to be able to achieve by the end of the lesson, we will be able to understand how we develop various strategies. For I have already highlighted, we'll be able to understand various concepts in strategic procurement and sourcing. We'll also be able to analyze the procurement processes. We will also, within the topic, be able to evaluate different supplier proposals and bids, and develop various strategies for contract management, supplier relationship management, and finally, also be able to understand the opportunities and challenges in global sourcing. Um, so you are highly welcome in this lecture today, and the reason on why we are intending to understand strategic procurement and sourcing is once you understand this particular concept, then within organizations, you are able to negotiate better prices. Remember, sourcing is all about the prices that you get for your products. And it's all about getting the right raw materials on time, getting the right supplies on time, and so on and so forth. So it is a very, very important discussion that we are going to have. And of course, you will also be able to understand the overall efficiency of an organization's supply chain. You will be more efficient in terms of even yourself, in terms of distributing your goods if you are a manufacturing company, and you will also be efficient in terms of timely receiving of raw materials for your organization. Once we also do strategic procurement and sourcing, ideally through the processes, we will be able to mitigate various risks that are associated with various supply chains. For example, issues to do with natural disasters. A case, an example is what happened during the COVID-19. You know, countries, companies got into trouble and they were unable to source for materials simply because that is a risk that no one had anticipated that it is going to happen. And therefore, strategic procurement and sourcing is going to help us also be able to plan ahead in terms of our procurement activities. We have risks in terms of also market fluctuations. Nowadays, we are seeing what is happening to the dollar against various currencies of different countries. If you have not planned yourself, then you are going to find yourself in a lot of trouble when you are doing procurement and sourcing. Yeah. So other reasons on why this particular understanding of the unit or knowledge around strategic procurement and sourcing is important, you will be able to have quality and reliable products. And also, it is going to be important for you because through proper understanding of strategic procurement and sourcing, you will be able to have a very good collaboration among your organization and various suppliers. And that's what we are saying on our introduction slide, that everybody or all organizations, it is important for them to plan for the future. And so when you are planning for the future, then we come up with frameworks that allow processes to take place. Yeah, and these frameworks should be in line with company's objective, um, that are going to ensure that at the end of the day, when we are doing our procurement activities, then we are also able to reach our objectives as a company. We now intend to understand our unit is strategic procurement and sourcing. But what is the meaning of a strategy? A strategy, we would simply define it as a high level plan or a course of action. Yeah, and actions that managers take within the organization to be able to achieve set objectives. So that tells you that when it comes to matters of strategic procurement and sourcing, then you cannot ignore the aspect of developing very nice plans or courses of action for you to ensure that you are not suffering deficiency in terms of raw materials, you are not suffering deficiency or lack of goods, raw materials arriving on time. You can imagine what COVID-19 put companies in, those that had not done strategic procurement and sourcing, because it is something that no one had foreseen until we got to a point that countries locked their airspaces, so cargo planes could not travel, passenger individuals could not travel, and therefore businesses were affected. But when you do strategic procurement and sourcing, now you gain a very crucial knowledge that will assist you to be able to plan your activities in advance, plan your procurement activities in advance, sourcing activities in advance, and you will not be caught flat-footed because you did not do it in advance. So once we are doing these strategies, then we are going to find ourselves making choices, and we allocate various resources to position an organization. When we are talking about resources here, of course, for you to do sourcing, for you to get raw materials, you need resources in the name of finances. And therefore, when you do not have these finances, you are likely going to find yourself in a lot of trouble. You also need to be considerate in terms of time. We have something in procurement that we call the lead time, and this is the period between which when you order your goods and when you receive those particular goods. So you cannot, there are suppliers that you cannot just wake up and tell them, please deliver an item immediately. Like today, I was calling a certain guy to do some printing work for me. And what they told me, it was around 1 p.m. and I was telling them by 3 p.m. I need to collect. And they told me it is not possible. Yeah. It is not possible to collect that document within 2 hours. Reason because maybe they are not through with designing the template or the document that I needed. So in matters procurement, when you are talking about resources, then time is of essence. You need to know your suppliers. When does each supplier respond in terms of the moment when you order and when they deliver the goods? When you don't understand the lead time, then you find yourself in trouble in terms of finding yourself in a situation that you do not have raw materials, you do not have certain products, and now you end up telling your customers that particular item is finished, that particular item is not available. Please come after 3 weeks, please come after 2 weeks, simply because you did not consider your resources in terms of time, what you are calling lead time. And of course, finally, in terms of allocating resources, then you need to have personnel who are qualified in terms of matters procurement. Those that understand the processes, that understand the ordering procedures, and also very, very importantly, you need to create a personal relationship with your suppliers to ensure that this is a success. Procurement and sourcing is an issue that is really bringing a lot of problems for companies. There are customers that the moment you tell them an item is not available, then they will look for the next available shop or organization or supermarket to get that item. So if we do not get it right in terms of procurement and sourcing, strategic procurement and sourcing, then it is a recipe for loss of customers, and we have to be keen on that. And that's why we are saying in the final statement in this particular slide that strategy provides a roadmap for decision making. So once you have plans in terms of sourcing, then you know when to source. That's a decision that you're going to make. Number two, who to source from. That's an important decision to make, and so on and so forth. So now we have defined strategy. We have laid a background of what strategic procurement is. So now we define it. When we combine the terms, now we refer to as strategic procurement as the process of strategically identifying sourcing. Sourcing is simply where to get your goods, raw materials from. And then you go ahead and acquire them, were it services or goods. That is an assignment that I'm giving you, that you be able to find out the difference between goods and services. And when we are doing all these, then we want to align our activities with the overall organizational goals. So even as we are identifying, sourcing, and acquiring goods, what is the overall organizational goals? Examples of what we would call organizational goals include things like profit maximization. So there are those organizations that are geared towards making enough profit. Others, their main goal is to expand, expansion, growth and expansion. That would be a different goal for a different organization. So we are saying whatever kind of a goal that you have, then you must also get it right in terms of sourcing and acquiring of goods and services. Failure to do that, then I have given one of the consequences would be loss of customers. Yeah, so we're also saying through strategic procurement, then we are able to systematically procure goods and services. And as we do that, our key focus will be on quality. What is the quality of the goods? What is the cost? As somebody who is dealing with very many suppliers, then sometimes you will find a variation in terms of price. And so everybody wants to save that shilling. So that means you cannot rely on one supplier. You need also to understand what is the market price of an item X, so that suppliers do not dupe you. I saw somebody who was selling an item at $25 at some place, whereas the same item was being sold at $15 by a different supplier. That means if you just decide a supplier is here and you pick them, you are likely maybe to lose a shilling or two. And it is something that you need to consider. So besides quality, cost is very, very important. Reliability are the products that you are dealing with or the products that you are selling as an organization. Can customers count on them to serve them for a particular duration of time? That is about reliability. And then also, as we are doing strategic procurement, I had mentioned this, it's about supplier relationships. The need for you to create great relationships with your suppliers. When you have great relationships with your suppliers, then when you do a simple email that you need an addition of certain goods, then they are going to respond. When you have a good relationship with your suppliers, you will agree on the grace period for payment. Maybe you would be unable to pay the goods immediately. Yeah, so create a relationship with these guys. They are important. They can make or break your organization. Now, what are some of the reasons for the evolution of a strategy? When you are talking about evolution, it simply means the aspects about strategic planning are changing day in, day out. The demand for customers, the demand for suppliers is changing day in, day out. And part of the reasons is number one, we have what we call newly emerging buyer preferences and requirements. That means the buyers of today are more keen to be able to receive a particular good or service. Preferences is also what goes hand in hand with what we call taste and preferences. Different clients will have different taste and preferences. I have some students I am handling somewhere, and for them they told me they love the physical class where we are going to interact face to face. But among these students, there is somebody in Somaliland. So that means he cannot be physically in Nairobi. So we have to tailor make something that suits them. That is what we call preferences and requirements. Now, today's buyers are also environmentally aware. So they are going for products, for what is being called nowadays going green. Going green, we could talk about examples like now the increasing demand of electronic vehicles. Yeah. We also have increasing demand of reusable and sustainable packaging. People have moved away from packaging in plastic bags, some companies, because of issues to do with the environment. Now, when you talk about buyer preferences, there are those also that require personalization and customization. Personalization and customization means if I am buying a pen, then I will tell the manufacturer to indicate the name of my company, like Crystal University, or to indicate the name of or my personal name. I'm sure within Juba, South Sudan, you've seen guys drive cars that have a number plate that is written their name. That is personalization. Uh, so you have to approach the company to be able to do this, or the number plate producers to be able to do this for you. Uh, uh, Clients are going to ask specifications for their product, be it cars, be it planes, and anything and everything that you would consume. People are asking whatever their preferences are. I've seen people when they move to new houses, they could also change the walls of the colors because maybe they don't like a particular color. Yeah. So innovation, evolution in terms of strategy, we are now in a new level because of different us preferring different kinds of products. And the second one is initiatives of rural fresh to grab the market share. So everybody is seeking to have a command of the market. Market share is an pie chart showing the percentage of the market that you command as a company. I would like you to do research in your country. Let's take, for example, the communication companies. Find out whether there is a market share describing what percentage. If I ask you what is the commonly used mobile service provider in your country, you will be able to tell me. And you're going to give me reasons. Now, based on the percentages that you give me in terms of customers for every mobile service provider, then I can be able to draw market share and say, for example, company X is this percentage in terms of the market. Yeah, so because we are evolving in terms of strategy development, in terms of procurement, then we are also looking at the market share perspective. Another reason for evolution of the strategy is appearance of fresh opportunities and threats. That is borrowed from our SWOT analysis criteria. I'm sure you could have heard these in other sessions. The strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities. Everybody is looking at what opportunities can we explore as an organization. Just like organizations like Crystal University would be looking for opportunities for them to explore, new courses to explore, new partnerships to explore. And also, you would be very keen in terms of threats, because when you are not keen in terms of threats, then you are likely to find yourself uh, kicked out by your competitors. And also, finally, on the reasons for evaluation of strategies, we are looking at technological advancements. Uh, Companies have evolved in terms of technology. When you go to the banking industry, for example, you would find they are now adopting advanced kind of automated teller machines. These machines can be able to receive cash deposits, receive check deposits. Those are things that ATMs could not do a while back. So we develop strategies. See, we are opening a new bank branch, and we not now bring the old ATMs because banks are kind of a strategy. Every customer wants, if I'm going to deposit some money, everybody wants to spend the shortest time possible in the bank. Always, and technology is going to save us in terms of that. You can also check around the banks in your country. They have also adopted what we call a queuing system. A queuing system means when you come into the bank, then you pick a ticket. Once you pick a ticket, a number of strategies, different types of strategies. You look at them at the aspect of the corporate strategy, business strategy, and also functional strategy. All those are different levels of developing strategies. When we talk about corporate strategies, we are focusing on the overall direction of the company or the entire organization. So in this aspect, we are focused in terms of diversification. When we talk about diversification, then we are talking about expanding our product offerings to have more of the goods or services that we are offering. We could talk about mergers and acquisitions. There we have those points where companies need feel that when we come together, then great things are going to happen. Um, Check in your country, we have a famous bank now called NCBA. I don't know whether it's in South Sudan. That is a company that is now existing as a result of merging. And the initial institution or the initial banks were one bank called NIC Bank and another one that was called CBA Bank. So this what you are calling merger or the activity that we are calling merger happened, and what was NIC and CBA now became NCBA. All those are strategies that organizations can adopt. We have acquisitions, resource allocation, portfolio management. So corporate strategy is wide. And when we are doing corporate strategy, then we are concerned with coordinating and managing major resources and relationships between enterprises. So we are looking at what we have just talked about, market share. We are looking at who are our competitors, who are our allies or friends that we can do business together, and other.
I'm not seeing the slides. Can you see? I'm not
You're
seeing
not
the
seeing?
slide. Yeah, I'm not seeing.
Is everybody having that issue? Are you seeing it now?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can continue.
Okay. Sorry about that. So levels of strategies, we are coming from this particular slide. So the other one, we also determine what businesses the undertaking should be in order to maximize profitability. We also seek to understand, we need to decide on business location. The location is also very critical and important that we need to know as organizations. Then from corporate strategies, then we come to business strategies. So for this particular kind of strategy, we come up with strategies for specific business units and divisions. When we talk about divisions, they could also be departments within an organization. So when we are coming up with these business strategies, then we are looking at the aspect of address competitive positioning. Competitive positioning is simply how companies perceive you as a competitor, or where are you placing yourself in terms of competition. And then also when you are doing business strategy, we are also looking at the aspect of market segmentation. When we are doing market segmentation is where we simply divide the market into sizable units, those units that you can serve. One of the main reasons that we do segmentation is because you cannot be able to serve an entire market. So the best thing is divide the market, then you can choose the best one for you to be able to serve. And also product, service and differentiation. When we talk about product differentiation as part of the business strategy, then we want to create unique characteristics and attributes of our products. If you could be asked about Bristol University, what are some of the things that make the university stand out? You can be able to explain that. And we are looking at that in terms of quality and durability. We are looking at that in terms of design. We are looking at business strategy or differentiation in terms of the brand image and reputation. We also asking ourselves, business strategies are concerned with coordinating and integrating unit strategies. So that's very, very important for you to be able to do. And also the other one, we are also going to develop distinctive competencies and competitive advantage. When we are developing business strategies and we have competitive advantage, it simply means that we have an upper hand as an organization. Yeah. Um, what would make Bristol University, for example, to stand out in terms of what we call competitive advantage? Maybe it's in terms of what we would we would we would refer to as blended learning. Yeah. Also, we can identify market niches and segments for developing strategies for competing in the market. I have said, if you are in the service industry, for example, or you are selling certain products and services, you may not be able to offer all the products and services, but you are looking at the context of at least satisfying a particular group of people, and that will be very, very important for you to be able to understand. And also, as we are doing business strategy, then number 4, it is easier for us to monitor products and markets so that strategies can conform to the needs of the product markets. Now, when we are doing the business level strategy, then we have certain models that have been developed that we can adopt. And one of them is what we call the Porter's competitive strategy model, or the Miles and Snow adaptive strategy. So we are going to look at each one of them to be able to understand what that means. When we are talking about the Porter's competitive strategy, this is a strategy or a model that was developed by somebody we call Michael Porter. And it focuses on having quality, service, cost, and time. Yeah. It seeks to be able to offer quality products or services. At the same point, be able to meet or give customers the appropriate pricing, and also be able to consider the aspects of time. Yeah. So we are focusing on also gaining what we call competitive advantage when we are using this particular model. So the key purpose or the reason why Porter came up with this particular model, or this person we are calling Michael Porter, for him, he was answering the question of how can organization X have a competitive advantage over other organizations. And we are saying these particular organizations or this particular model is going to assist organizations, companies to be able to position themselves in the marketplace or place yourself in the marketplace. Now, Porter emphasized on 3 things for you to have competitive advantage. Number 1, he emphasized on what we call cost leadership. He also emphasized on what we call differentiation strategy, and he also emphasized on what we call the focus strategy. Now, when we talk about cost leadership, we are saying through this particular strategy, we focus on having lowest cost of production and delivery within an industry. So cost leadership means you are a leader in terms of, number one, giving your customers the lowest cost possible or the lowest cost available. And also lowest cost in terms of the cost that you are spending to be able to manufacture a good or a service. So Porter was simply telling us in terms of cost leadership, let us strive to have to reduce costs where possible, and also try to become very, very efficient for our products to be able to sell in the market. Now, examples of strategies that we can adopt for what you are calling cost leadership, we have what we call lean manufacturing techniques. For example, something we call just in time, JIT. I would like you to read about that concept. It's a concept that companies are adopting, and in simple, it is encouraging organizations to, when we're talking about just in time, if we would want to have certain raw materials, then we only order the specific quantity that we need. And that, what does that mean? It means that we are not going to have anything in excess. That is part of cost leadership in terms of avoiding what we call dead stock. So you just order at the moment in which you need a particular item. So that is on cost leadership. And of course, another way that we can also practice cost leadership is to ensure that we are sourcing our raw materials at the lowest possible cost. So find out which is the cheapest place that you can get raw material X in terms of service providers. Who is giving you value for your money, and they are still giving you quality services. All that is what we call cost leadership. Now, we have what we call the differentiation strategy. We are saying it focuses on offering unique and distinctive products. When we are talking about unique and distinctive products, what are we looking at? We are looking at products, number one, those that have superior quality. And they have exceptional quality. Those are very, very important points in terms of differentiation. Now, for you, of course, to be different, or for you to practice differentiation, number one, as an organization, you need to invest in a lot of research and development, and also to be very innovative. And that's what we are saying on our second statement here, that organizations that employ this strategy are going to focus on creating a unique value proposition through product features. Product features is also what we refer to as product characteristics. Design. You can see, for example, Bristol University has a specific design for their presentation. When we are talking about goods, customers are king in terms of shape. If you're going to buy a car, there is that customer who maybe the shape is key for them. And also quality. So in terms of differentiation, what kind of quality of goods or services are you giving your customer? Customer service, that is also key. how you relate with your customers, how you speak to your customers. When your customers are having issues, what time do you take to resolve those issues? All that is customer service. Of course, it is wide. We may not really be able to expound all of it. And also issues to do with branding, making yourself. Branding, of course, is a major thing that comes under promotion. Do customers know that you exist? What are you doing about it in order to be able to create awareness? Promotion is all about creating awareness. We have a number of range of methods that we can use there. We can use direct marketing, we can use salespeople, sales promotion, and so on and so forth. So differentiation is a very, very important aspect under the portal's competitive strategy. And finally, we have what we call forecast. So when you are using the forecast strategy as proposed by Michael Porter, then focus is simply telling us that we have a specific market segment or niche that we are serving, and we need to tailor our products and services to meet the uniqueness of these segments. For example, the students maybe, or the participants, or those that are doing studies at Bristol University would be maybe the bigger percentage are those working class. So that means what? We need to focus on that particular group of people and craft programs and strategies to be able to suit them. So what are the timing of the classes? What are the timing of the hours for class? That is very, very crucial. And that's why we are saying in the second statement, rather than trying to compete broadly across the entire market, whoever is using the focus strategy is their key interest is to serve a specific customer group. Think, for example, those that are maybe in the clothing industry. We have different segments. We have young people, we have children, we have the elderly, we have the women, we have the men. Each of them will prefer a certain kind of dressing, and you need to be able to meet, because you cannot serve all these segments. Then we have said you need to invest in research. So give or choose the segment that you can appropriately serve and serve very well. So that's on the focus. Then remember, from the strategies we were talking about, the business strategies, we had this other one that we were calling miles and snow adaptive strategy. This is a different strategy now, away from the Porter's competitive strategy. So this is a framework that was developed by somebody we call Raymond E. Miles. And the purpose of this strategy was to be able to ensure organizations can adopt and respond to the environment that is very uncertain, and also achieve competitive advantage. An uncertain environment means there are a lot of risks that we are exposed to as organizations, and therefore we need to try and use miles and snow adaptive strategy that is going to help us now to understand the external environments, the external risks that we may be faced with. Now, we are saying under this particular model or framework, the typology is going to categorize organizations into 4 strategic types. And we have these organizations that we are calling prospectors. They are characterized by a focus on innovation, risk-taking, and pursuing new markets. An example that we can give for this company may be that we can call a prospector. We can have a company like, for example, Netflix, that has been able to revolutionize entertainment industry with subscription-based streaming. And also we have another company we call Tesla. It has revolutionized the issues around electronic vehicles, and people are adopting those kind of vehicles for their movement. Yeah, so if you look at those two companies, then there is the element of innovation, bringing new products in the market. And also it involves risk, because you are not sure when you develop products whether people are going to adopt them as products that they can use. And then we have this one that we are referring to as a defender, a company that is going to act as a defender. So we are saying these ones aim to maintain a stable and secure position within a relatively narrow market segment. So their key priority is in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost control, is in terms of operational excellency. How can they become excellent in their operations? And we're also saying these kind of companies that we are calling defenders also focus on optimizing existing products and services, defending their market share, and establishing barriers to entry towards competitors. A key example that we can give for this company that we are calling a defender would be something like Coca-Cola. Remember, this company has been around for so long, but nobody has been able to develop beverages that can completely maybe push them out of the market. So they have continued to be a market leader and commanding, if we pick a market share for beverage companies in the world, probably Coca-Cola would be commanding a very big percentage. So they have been very good in terms of their defense to ensure that no competitor, for example, knows their raw materials. What makes that particular drink, Fanta Orange, Coca-Cola, have a unique taste. So that is a defender strategy. Yeah. So think about what organizations, for example, like Bristol University, what kind of defender strategies can they adopt to be able to command the market and remain in the market. Then we have the analyzer. So organizations are now going to be combining different elements of both prospectors and defenders. So they balance between being stable in the market and also developing new products within the market. So they are really trying to see what is happening in the market, and then as they are doing that kind of analysis, they also don't want to lose even a single customer. Those kind of companies, we can call them analyzers. So they are combining aspects of ensuring they keep innovating and also ensuring that they keep defending whatever products that they have in the market. Then we have what we call a reactor. So these kind of organizations are not very consistent or proactive. Their work is to keep watching what is happening in the environment, and then they react. They do not have specific strategic directions that they are taking. Yeah. So they see whatever is happening in the market. If there is issues around COVID, if there is issues around supply issues, then those external pressures are going to push them to respond. Yeah. And we are saying they face a lot of challenges when it comes to adapting to changing market conditions. And they are likely to struggle with maintaining a competitive advantage. And finally, as we near to the close, we have the functional strategy. And when we are developing the functional strategy, then we are focusing on specific functional areas. The functional areas are what we would call departments within an organization. So we could develop strategies for the marketing department. How can we create awareness for our products? Then we could also develop functions in terms of finance department, operations, procurement, and all these strategies are meant to align with the overall business opportunities or strategies of the organization. When we talk about functional strategies, they are concerned with integrating activities within the functional area. So within a particular department, let's say finance, then we can have procurement taking place there, marketing taking place there. In short, every department will need to have their own sub-departments in terms of procurement and marketing running within themselves. Yeah, so that we don't put a lot of pressure on one department to be able to do this work. And finally is to be able to ensure that the skills and competencies of functional specialists are effectively utilized, and also to ensure that there is the provision of information and expertise that can be utilized in the formulation of a corporate strategy. So, any question? That has brought us to the end of that presentation. Let me hear whether there is any question. If there is no question, then we are going to close it there and hope to meet in the next lecture.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to inquire something. It's not just like the question, but I want to confirm. We will have another lecture tomorrow at this time.
Yeah, we will run these lectures at the same time.
Okay. That's what I
Yes.
want to confirm. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure